On May 7, 2018, LaToya Cantrell was sworn in as the first female mayor of New Orleans. Now, this was a historic accomplishment, being that she is Black and, of course, female. But there's another interesting twist to this. LaToya Cantrell is not even from New Orleans. Better yet, Louisiana. LaToya Cantrell is from California, and she happened to go to Xavier University in Louisiana and ended up staying in New Orleans and worked her way up to become the mayor. This was a great achievement. She was also married or happily married to her husband, Jason Cantrell, who was right there by her side when she got sworn in.
History, winning an election to become New Orleans' first female mayor. And now, in Mayor LaToya Cantrell's second term, her husband of many years has passed away.
Jason Cantrell was a lawyer in the city of New Orleans and was known amongst public officials. Unfortunately, during her second term, he passed away. But while he was sick, LaToya Cantrell allegedly started dealing with somebody in her personal detail, police officer and bodyguard Jeffrey Vappy. Now, this is very interesting. Mr. Jeffrey Vappy at the time was also married.
What?
And as you know, it is illegal for a mayor to be sleeping with her bodyguard or a police officer. And that's bad too. The issue with her is not only was she having an affair, she was using the city's money for fraudulent purposes.
What's wrong with you?
For an example, Mayor LaToya Cantrell was upgrading her flights to first class or business class on the taxpayer's dime. And when she was called out on it, did she want to pay it back?
All expenses incurred doing business on behalf of the city of New Orleans will not be reimbursed to the city of New Orleans. One thing is clear, I do my job, and I will continue to do it with distinction, with dignity and integrity every step of the way. And so that's what I'll have to say on that.
Nope, not at first. She says, listen, y'all not about to get reimbursed. I do my job. I'm ethical.
Huh?
That's what she was saying in public. She does her job.
You have lost your mind.
Well, let's see how good she was doing her job.
Earlier today, a federal grand jury returned an 18-count superseding indictment charging New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell and former New Orleans Police Department officer Jeffrey Paul Vappy II. They are charged with a series of fraud, obstruction of justice, and false statement offenses for their role in a nearly 3-year fraud scheme that we allege exploited their public authority and positions.
Now, in this FBI indictment, the individual is saying she exploited her position as well as Jeffrey Vappy as the mayor of New Orleans. But it gets worse.
The indictment alleges that in October of 2021, Mayor Cantrell and Jeffrey Vappy, a member of her executive protection team, developed a personal, intimate relationship. From that time until Mr. Vappy's retirement in June of 2024, they embarked on a scheme to defraud the city of New Orleans and the New Orleans Police Department. By exploiting Vappy's job and Cantrell's authority as mayor to have the city and the New Orleans Police Department pay Vappy's salary and expenses during the times that Vappy claimed to be on duty, but when he was actually engaged in personal activities, usually with Ms. Cantrell, but sometimes alone at the Pontalba apartment.
Damn.
Now, she was misusing public funds to support personal travel and accommodations while falsely billing the city under the guise of official protection needs. In other words, Jeffrey Vappy was getting paid overtime and money, but they were at the city-owned luxury apartment for personal meetings during work hours, okay? Booty clapping it up, doing all sorts of things out in the open, okay? This lady's husband just died. She was doing this with this man while her husband was still alive, dying, okay? And then lying about the fact that she had a romantic relationship with Mr. Jeffrey Vappy. Now, Mr. Jeffrey Vappy is also a person that has a really good connection to the city of New Orleans. His own father was a police officer, all right? So he's kind of I won't call him an aristocrat, but he definitely is connected, all right? So at the same time, they're using the city's money to do whatever the hell they feel like it. And they both know it's wrong, and they're lying about it.
The indictment further describes the many steps that Cantrell and Vappy took to hide their scheme and to perpetuate their continued fraud, including using a secure messaging platform, WhatsApp. Specifically, Cantrell and Vappy used the WhatsApp platform to exchange over 15,000 messages, pictures, and audio clips in an 8-month period. They also used WhatsApp to intimidate subordinates, to harass a citizen, to lie to colleagues and associates, to delete evidence, to make false statements to FBI agents.
So not only are you guys on WhatsApp sharing 15,000 messages over 8 months, you're basically intimidating witnesses, okay? You're intimidating people. You're lying to federal investigators and grand jurors, all right? They got all the evidence. And I don't understand why people believe that you can come out and say, oh, yeah, I didn't do that. And then once the feds see all of those messages, what can you say? You can't say anything because it's the truth. And this is very similar to what we've seen with Tiffany Henyard in Dayton, Illinois. Although Tiffany Henyard's situation is a lot worse and it's a higher spin of public use, here we have blacks, again, black Americans, or if we want to say it in this case, black women who are in the position to help a black city. And then when they are caught up, they're completely unaccountable. Like, look at how you talk to your city.
One thing is clear, I do my job.
The city of New Orleans won't be getting this and that from me. You know, no, I'm doing business. I do my job. Yeah, you do your job, booty clapping job. And basically, this is kind of what you see from a lot of black politicians begging the citizens to basically get into office. Then once you get into office, you give them your ass to kiss and you use the money from the city you're supposed to be trying to help develop for your own personal gain. And then what this shows to the public is that most black politicians who are supposed to be in these black cities, they're mostly Democratic, they can't be trusted, all right? Like a city like New Orleans, rich in history, rich in culture, giving a black female an opportunity. See the same thing happening in the city of Philadelphia with their mayor, Sherelle Parker, which allegedly, from what I understand, gave herself a raise and did not want to give sanitation workers a raise. And we all know what happened in the city of Philadelphia. Trash was just there stinking it up. I mean, what does this say about black female leadership in these cities? I hear so many black women talking about, you know, we ought to be leaders. We can do what men are doing. Men are corrupt. Yeah, and men are corrupt in public office. I mean, we've seen a lot of evidence of that. But now what you're seeing with a lot of women is that they're having problems. And what's happening from some of the women that are coming into the political scenes is that they really don't have, from what I've been seeing, the ones that are having problems, no respect for other citizens. It's almost like, what about me? What am I getting? And since I'm your leader, I get to do whatever the hell I want. And what can you do about it? It's a big problem in Black America with political leadership or people in the religious space. I get to do whatever I feel like, and I don't have to basically uphold my bargain when it comes to satisfying you. And that's a person that has a seller's market mentality. And this is quite obvious. You see it, in many parts of the third world, somebody pretending to give you something or want to do business with you. And as soon as you pay for it, they act like you're the problem. That happens in third world countries. It shouldn't happen in America, right? And now you're hearing this situation happening as far as black politicians. I mean, the same thing's going on with Brandon Johnson, Chicago. You beg people to vote for you. You beg people to support you. You get into office, and then again, you do whatever the hell you feel like doing. You give yourself raises. You make sure that you're taken care of, and then the city doesn't develop. And why does a city not develop? Because you don't have good leadership. If you want to be a leader in any community, I don't care if it's the black community or not, you got to be responsible. You can't do whatever the hell you feel like doing and expect folks should respect you. And when they come out about you and they got evidence, you clearly lie about it, even though they have evidence. And this is a problem with black leadership. No accountability, no responsibility. I'm gonna do whatever I want to you, and you should just accept it. It's okay. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, I do what I want. Now, the problem I have with this is if you wanna do whatever you want, start a business, okay? You wanna do whatever you want, go to the private sector, okay? Then you can talk trash. But you wanna know what the problem is? People that have attitude like LaToya Cantrell or Tiffany Henyard, they could never make it in business because the market decides who is who in business. You can't have an attitude like that in the private sector and expect to be successful. So you can't win in business with an attitude like that. The only place you can have an attitude like that and stand a chance is politics, is the government. So that's what they do. They focus all of their time trying to get into government where the funds are there, where the money is there, and then they don't have to do anything because to be in business, you actually have to give people what they want, not what you want to give them to be successful. But once you get into politics, all you gotta do is lie. And then possibly, if you got a fan base strong enough, win again next time. That is the fundamental difference, all right, of what's going on in the private sector and politics. If you could do well in the private sector, most people would, if they could. But most people can't. That's why they're doing this. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea D. Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity John. We just do for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.